Okay, so we continue our conference, and our next speaker is Svetlana Senatskaya. And again, I would like to ask you, do you remember what was your feeling when you heard coaching in English for the first time? Doubt? Fear? I believe next presentation will give us very interesting experience how to overcome this. Svetlana Senatskaya has 2 degrees. She is in coaching since 2013. She came to the coaching from HR area, and she worked on top positions in international companies. Svetlana is a professional life coach, trained at Erickson Coaching International, St. Petersburg Coaching Institute, and ICP Centre. She is from Russia, Moscow. Svetlana, you are welcome.
Hello everybody. Good morning. Do you hear me well? Could you please put 10 in chat if you hear me? Thank you, Alexei. Okay, great. I see 7, so I will try to increase my voice. Okay, now it should be better. I hope so. And I will speak a little bit loudly. Okay, great. Oh, I'm very glad to see all of you here. And first of all, I would like to thank you that you chose this conference this Friday morning, and now you are with us. And my presentation will be about fears, about my personal experience, how I overcome all my fears when I started coaching in English. And I must say that it won't be any theory there. It will be just practical experience, some things that I found interesting in my practice, and I would like to share with you. And I really hope for your activity, and I hope it will be discussion, not just a presentation. And I hope I will have a possibility to ask you some questions and to see your answers in the chat. Now I will try to show my presentation. Just a moment. Should be seen. And now I should show the whole screen. Okay. So let me check if you see it okay. Please put 5s in chat if you see the presentation perfectly well. Okay, great. Thank you very much. So we can start. And the first question I would like to ask you, because I would like a little bit to get acquainted with you, because you know something about me already, but I don't know anything about you. And my first question will be about your practice in coaching in English. Could you please put in our chat 1 if you have already practicing coaching in English, and if you are going to have practice, put 2, and if you already have native English speaking clients, put 3. I see 1s, I see 2. Are there anybody with 3 who have already had English speaking clients? Great, Evgenia. It's perfect. It's perfect that you have your own experience, because I hope you will share with your peers, you will share your experience, how you overcome these fears and barriers. Because I I'm sure that my list of fears, there is no end. I think that there are a lot of fears, and we can collect them today and find the ways how to overcome them. Okay, so if you're ready, let's start. I would a little bit add to what Irina said to my biography. I really started coaching in 2013, and there was a small mistake till that time. I have already graduated from 3 basic English courses, professional courses. It's Erickson, it's ICP Centre, and it's also Institute of Coaching. I think you're also familiar with it. It's Sankt-Petersburg Institute, and the head is Alexander Savkin and Marina Danilova. For the moment, I work as a personal and corporate coach. Last year, I made a very important decision in my life. I decided to leave my office career, where I really spent 10 years and at leading positions, and I decided to work as freelancer, and it was a very important step in my life. And I decided to devote myself to coaching, to consulting, and for that period, I work as a coach, as a mentor assistant at educational programs for coaches. Also, I follow clients as a coach at several trainings of my partners. And for the moment, I also help coaches to build a successful paid practice. But the more interesting, I think, is my practice in English coaching. And I would say some words about this. I started coaching in English only a year ago. And, you know, for that moment, I didn't have a lot of English speaking practice on a daily basis for about 8 years. And I really had a lot of fears. And I would say that the greatest fear of mine was really to start. I must say that my English was quite good for that moment, but anyway, I didn't have much confidence to work with international clients. I would like to ask you now, what is maybe your greatest fear in coaching in English? Of course, I will show you my list of fears, but for the moment, it's very interesting for me. What fears did you face, and what was the greatest fear of you? Because mine, it was really just start to find the first client and start working in coaching. And what was yours? I hope you can write down in our chat. I see lots of translations. Okay, Evgenia, maybe you can write some words. What do you mean, lots of translations? Is it about you were afraid of you will not understand the client, or it was something else? If you could write some words, it will be perfect. Okay, and I will continue my story while you are writing. For that moment, I understood that I need to improve my English if I want to start coaching in English. But I really didn't want to do it in a traditional way and to go to some English courses. It was quite boring for me, to tell the truth. And for me, such special course that Dmitry have English for coaches was like a panacea, because it combined two of my great loves, English and coaching. it was the first step, I must say, to overcome all my fears. I see that you write in the chat, and I'm going to read. Anastasia wrote, yeah, one of the fear, don't understand something and therefore to miss an important information. As a result, not very efficient coaching session for my client. Absolutely agree, it was also one of my fears too. Irma wrote, during the session, client said something special and I couldn't understand the same thing. Yeah, absolutely. One more, greatest fear is overcome perception. Why would international clients hire a foreign coach instead of hiring a local one, speaking their own language well? It's very interesting fear, I would say, because I didn't think about it really. If we had time, I think we could discuss it. And also Evgenia wrote, first I was afraid that I will not understand that my client will say, and I was afraid that my client will not understand me. Yes, it's also one of my fears. I will show you the list of mine. Here is the list of 5 tops, I would say. Evgenia also wrote, but I was lucky in some way. My first English-speaking client was an English native speaker, so we made it really well. I would say that my first English-speaking client was also not native speaker. She was from Macedonia, and her native language was Macedonian, but she lived for 15 years or more in Macedonia and spoke with people only in English. So she was more English-speaking client, I would say. Okay, Victoria. Victoria wrote, I haven't taken any coaching courses in English, so I feel I don't know enough terminology. Yeah, you can see that it was also one of my fears about terminology and vocabulary. Really so. And it's also about the fear that I will not find the good coaching question. No, Anastasia wrote, Svetlana, not very good sound. Okay, we'll try to speak louder. If everybody also hear me badly, could you please somehow let me know if you hear me well, put the 10. If it's not so well, put 5. Okay, I will try to speak a little bit louder. I will put my computer closer. Okay, I hope now it's better. Okay, great. So, my list of fears you can see. In the beginning of my practice, coaching in English, I had the following fears. I was afraid of starting. I was afraid that I won't understand my client. I cannot ask as good questions in English as in Russian. I was afraid I won't find the right word. It's also about terminology and vocabulary to express my mind. And I also was afraid to make mistakes and to lose my face as a professional. So here is my list, and I would like to ask you if you faced any of these fears, and ask those who didn't write anything yet, which fears of this list you faced already. It's also interesting for me because now I understood that the most often fear is that my client won't understand me and I won't understand the client. Okay. So if you could put the number of the fear in the chat, it will be great. Victoria, thank you. 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, 4, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, more often. Alexei wrote 3 was before. I took all my coaching tools and translated it into English. Took, yeah. 2, 5 mainly. So as I see, you're familiar with all these fears, and I hope we will have a good discussion further about the ways how to overcome them. And let's start from the first one. So, how to start? How to start the coaching in English? It was my greatest fear because I couldn't start. My English was quite good, but anyway, for about a year, I couldn't start practicing. I could not find motivation. I could not overcome my confidence. And as I told you before, the first step to overcome it, it was a special course for coaches, English for coaches, because there I found colleagues who have the same dreams and the same fears. And together we support each other and help each other to overcome all these fears. And it was great. So my first advice here and how I overcome all this is just have a lot of safe practice. Safe practice with Russian colleagues. For example, at this course for coaches, English course for coaches, we had a lot of practice together. And also we had a special chat in Skype where there were a lot of other students from previous flows, and we practice with each other. So we had quite a lot of English speaking practice. And here I would advise to find more people who are interested in English, in coaching, and I'm sure that if you start searching, you will find a lot of resources where you can practice. And my second recommendation here is find a pair among international coaches. And I know that today is Alex Gonchar is here and Alex Krapov is here. And I would like to tell about his project, Headway Coaching Cycles, because my practice started there. I found my first international client in Alex Headway Coaching Cycle, and also I found international coach. And I would really advise you to find such resources, because when I start searching, I found that there are a lot of international coaches all over the world, and they want to practice. And it was great to do it. So here are my recommendations and my ways how to overcome. Maybe you can add something to this fear, how to overcome it, so you have your own ideas. If you have any, could you please write in our chat? Okay. Anna commented, I teach 5 languages. I'm not afraid to speak foreign languages. Your list is normal for everybody. How starting speaking foreign languages? Could you have an advantages that you are not a native speaker? Unfortunately, I really don't understand the question. What do you mean? Would you have an advantage that you are not native speaker? I cannot say that I have some advantages. No, maybe. Maybe the answer is no. Diana wrote, what resources do you recommend for international colleagues? I found a resource that called the Headway Coaching Cycle. And when I was searching, I found that there are a lot of other things, but I chose this one, And if you start searching, I'm sure you will find your own resource. Please, if you can share the resources. Again, about resources. One resource I gave you, others I think you will find absolutely. Where did you find international coaches who wanted to practice? First client I found in this coaching cycle in practice. Several clients I found in ICF International project. It was started in September, so I also advise you to be a member of ICF, because now ICF has a lot of interesting projects and international also. Could you repeat, please, where did you find, Natalia, it's Headway Coaching Cycle. I will give my contacts in the end of presentation, and you can contact me directly if any questions left. Again, questions about resources. I will spell this resource in the chat. So it's Headway Coaching Cycle. Should be like this. What is your option? Why English-speaking clients choose international coaches? It's an interesting question. It's a good question. Why did they choose? You know, I never asked them why did they chose me. My clients told me that they chose personality. They don't say anything about if I'm native speaker or not native speaker. They always told me that they chose me because of my personality. Because when I start working with the client, we always speak to each other, just a discussion to get acquainted, and after that the client made decision. And they always told me that they like to work with me as a person. They like my style, they like my background, and so on. And no one told me about if I'm native speaker or not native speaker. So for me, it's also a question. Maybe you will find the answer and share with us. Okay, I need to go further because I have 8 minutes left. So thank you, Irina. Okay, we go further. So the second one, if you're afraid that you won't understand the client, what I did here. First of all, the following mind came to me, that you shouldn't understand each word. For me, it's really true. And the more important, I think, is to demonstrate coaching competencies. Because if you are in coach position, if you listen carefully to your client, if you follow the feeling, not the words, the feeling, and hear the familiar words and repeat these familiar words, sometimes it's not so important if you understand absolutely everything. Because I was in several times I was in such situation that I had a client with an accent, and it was difficult to understand everything he told me. But I tried to catch these value words and return them to him. Of course, I did not continue working with this client. It was my personal decision because I understood that I need to improve my English better to follow this client better. But anyway, that sessions that we had, they were on quite a high level. And it was, from his feedback, it was valuable for him because the most important for him was that I repeated his value words. So my main recommendation here, don't try to catch every word. Just be in coach position and demonstrate your coaching competencies. Next thing, it's about asking good questions. In the beginning of my practice, I really had a problem that my English was quite simple, and I used quite simple words. I must say that my coaching sessions in English were more Russian ones, if you understand what I mean, not English ones. I just took a Russian question and translated it into English. But there were very great English phrases, English questions, and my recommendation here, how to overcome this fear, really learn good English questions, write them down, and for the first time, I would keep them in sessions. Somebody can tell that it will disturb you from the session, from the client, but anyway, if you have this list, you can somehow have a look at it, and it really can be helpful. It helped me for the first time, and I really used this list. And I would like to advise you a very good book. It's Sonia Stolzfus. I'm not sure in my pronunciation good here. It's Coaching Questions. It's a great book which collected a lot of coaching practices and a lot of coaching questions. The whole book about questions. It's a great help, and it was great help for me. I chose good questions, write them down, and use them in the session. Because we all know that we have in coaching concluding contract, first steps, the questions about value, and it will be great if you have a list of questions for all these areas.
Just a second, Olga, please. I'd like to remind you that you have another couple of minutes till the end of your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Another way to overcome this fear is listen coaching sessions on YouTube, because there are a lot, and you can also find them their interesting questions. The next fear about I was afraid that I won't find the right word, and here I helped myself with online translator. For the first time, it was helpful. Of course, I didn't have a look at it very often, but it was open on my computer and I really felt confident. It gave me confidence. Also, I wrote down some interesting words from my coaching sessions, find translations, and just learn them. And I must say that it will be a great way if you find your way to study new vocabulary. And the last fear, it's about making mistakes. I saw that some of you mentioned it, and losing face. And I would say here that really nobody is perfect, and only even native speakers, they made some mistakes. And if you are in coaching position, your small mistakes are really nothing for the client. And what is really important is your coaching competencies, and it's your coach position. So please don't think about mistakes. And I would like to finish with the proverb that Dmitry, I know, likes very much. Practice makes perfect. It's really so. The more you practice, the better your coaching sessions are in English. So it's all that I want to tell you today. I'm not sure that we have time for questions. Here are my contacts, and if there are any questions left, you can contact me by email, by Skype, on Facebook, and we can continue discussion. And I really thank you for your attention and for your activity.
Thank you, Svetlana, so much. It was very interesting, and I think very important for our participants, how to start coaching in English, how to overcome your fears and doubts. Thank you indeed. and especially for resources you indicated during your presentation. Thank you.